Morning, welcome to another Monday Motivation. Let me read you some words from Matthew chapter 5 verses 14 to 16, and it says this: You are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hidden, nor do they light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a lampstand, and it gives light to all who are in the house. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. You be like me, and I really want my light of Jesus shining through me, that others may see him in me, that I may be a great witness to people. But sometimes, it just seems like, how do we really make our light shine? Sometimes it seems so difficult to make a light shine. We can be going through a difficult situation. Things can be happening in our lives. And how do we do that? Well, let me just give you a simple thought today, and in doing so, just share a little story with you. There's a man by the name of Reverend Dr. George Campbell Morgan, born on a farm in England in December 1863, and became one of Britain's evangelistic preachers, leading Bible teacher, and a prolific author. When he was 10 years of age, the great evangelist D.L. Moody came to England for the first time, and he heard him. And that, combined with what his parents were inputting into his life, made such an impression on this young man at 10 years of age that at the age of 13, he preached his first sermon. 2 years later, he was preaching regularly in country chapels during his Sundays and holidays. In 1886, at the age of 23, he had been a teacher, and he left his teaching profession and decided to devote himself to preaching and Bible exposition. He was ordained into the congregational ministry in 1890, and he had no formal training for the ministry, but his devotion to studying the Bible made him one of the leading Bible teachers of his day. His reputation as preacher and Bible expositor grew throughout Britain and even spread to the United States. Wow. Sometimes we see people like that and we think, I wish I could be just like that. I wish God had just given me that ability, that I could be a great preacher, a great teacher. This man in 1904 became pastor of Westminster Chapel in London. No mean feat. He preached, and his preaching and his weekly Friday night Bible classes were attended by thousands of people. Now, this man had 4 sons, and all of whom were considered fine preachers. And once his youngest son, whose name was Howard, was asked this question: who is the greatest preacher in your family? They were a great family of preachers. We've just heard a little bit about what the father was like, and the sons were similar in that their devotion to God and their ability to preach the word of God. And so when one of his sons, Howard, his youngest son, was asked this: who is the greatest preacher in your family? Without a moment's hesitation, he responded, my mother. And then he continued and said, sometimes those who never stand at a pulpit preach the greatest sermon through living out the Bible in their daily lives. God's plan for you may not be to be standing at a pulpit. It may not be to be up front in ministry. It may even be for you that you seem like you're in the background. But every day, you and I have the opportunity to preach great sermons through just living out the Bible. Just living out the Bible. Just being who you are in love with Jesus, having a deep relationship and a very personal relationship with Jesus that just comes out of you when you talk to people. Your courtesy to people, your actions to them. You don't have to be a great preacher, you just have to be you. And let the love of Christ shine through you. So letting our light so shine before men that they may see our good works and glorify our Father in heaven automatically happens when we live out the Bible in our daily lives. My challenge and encouragement to both you and myself this week is that our lives our relationship with God, our profession of faith in God. It might be just lived out in our natural everyday life. And even if we don't notice it, others will notice it. So have a fantastic week, and may God bless you abundantly, and we'll see you again next Monday.